Throughout this year, I've traded NFP almost perfectly, landing 10 green days and 1 break-even day. In this video, I'm going to cover a couple of those days, how I was seeing price, and why I took the trades that I did. So of course, with me posting a video like this, I need to show proof. 10 and 0 is absolutely insane, and 1 break-even day, not a really big deal. I think it was like September or something. But anyway, continuing on, right? We have our first day, 10 and 0, 9 and 0 posted. 8 and 0 posted as well. 7 and 0, excuse me. And, just showing the trades off here, and even for this one, right? We were live in the group, and you can see the executions on screen actually right there, and delivering into that sell side. Actually, a short on the news as well, and I think that was into open. Continuing on, we see our 7, 6 and 0, our 5 and 0 as well. And you can all see the dates with every single one of these I post, so you can always go back on Forex Factory, check, right, April 5th, and then you'll see this one. Well, this was the 4th, but either way, right, and then this one's like CPI on the 11th, and then 3 and 0 here. I couldn't find some of the other ones, right, but even, like 8 and 0, or 8 and 1 break even, but either way, let's continue on with the video and get into how I was able to catch and see all of these trades. I'm not going to leave you hanging. Of course, here's that April 5th with that NFP. I was in an overnight long position I closed a little bit, then got stop break even and re-longed, and then was able to hold to this buy side liquidity and then, higher buy side liquidities. Getting into the chart, we need to have a understanding as a whole that news follows the high time frame. It's quick and easy if you know what you're doing, and it's simply not gambling. If we understand our higher time frame structure, our higher time frame draw and liquidity, and understand time-based manipulation, you will be able to do this the same way I did. My Twitter's in the description, so please check everything I'm saying, every trade I'm saying, because I did the same thing with CPI. I just took 2 losses at the beginning of the year, so I didn't really keep track of it. I didn't want my record to be like 7 or 2 or something, but I really should have kept track of it, and I'm going to go back and look at it, to be honest, because I think it'll be around like 5 and 2 or 7 and 2 or maybe 7 and 3 or something like that. Of course, with every video I teach, you need to understand the basic concepts of internal to external, protected highs and lows, into low resistance liquidity. Of course, we use power of 3 market maker buy and sell models, and a couple other things like obvious market structure, order flow, right when we take out the slow revert and then create a higher high, right, the high that broke the low, and then we are able to continue, right, not needing to sweep the slow anymore, and then following order flow from there. In an example like this situation, right, the best long would have been from this order block, right, or with a turtle soup of this low. In my opinion, this low is protected, right, into right when this low is formed. It is after 6, so for the 4-hour power of 3 we open low, and in continuing higher we do displace. So in my opinion, something around there was fine. But what I usually end up doing is right before news setting my position, and depending how far away we are from the certain low that I know is protected, I will risk a little bit less or risk a little bit more, depending if I feel like we're going to wick or not. On this day, this wasn't as clear whether we would take this low or not. This low was pretty clear, so a low risk buy. 200 ticks, right? You can't put, like 4 minis on that. It's going to be too large. So what we do is we wait for our reaction for news and see where we're going to continue and how we're going to continue. We see with this sweep the low, we do pretty much the same thing we do here, right? We sweep the low, break the high, and then use that level to support price higher, right? We sweep the low, right? We sweep out all of these lows, break the high, and use it to support price higher, right? We have our low resistance to the left, right? We've accumulated, manipulated, and distributed, and also inside of the news candle, we've accumulated, manipulated the low, and then distributed the high. We've displaced the high as well, leading to a fair value gap and an order block created that can send price higher. And you can also see it as a breaker, right? Lower low, higher high, right? We also see on this chart we've accumulated, manipulated here, distorted a little bit, and now we're going to distribute. At this point now is where I ended up taking this long after 9:30. On the 5-minute time frame, it's pretty clean, right? Even breaking, displacing this high, and then using those previous down closure candles support price higher. But One thing I'll obviously want to check out is the 1 minute time frame. So we come down to here inside of the 5 minute and the 15 minute, right? And what do we see? A reaccumulation into our 9:30 open. Open low below the lows into our high close. So if we see the 30 minute, right, fair value gap here, we open low at 9:30, small Judas swing, and then continue higher. What you'll often see sometimes, if we don't draw into this low here, into the data low, right, you'll see 9:30 move higher, right, into a 10 reversal into the fair value gap, and then continuing higher. Same thing in this small price area. Accumulation before our news event, manipulation, distribution. Inside of where we've distributed our fair value gap, we use previous down closure candles to support price higher. Also, using time-based manipulation to take out our lows and then deliver higher. Also, after creating, right, a breaker, using that breakaway gap lower to support price higher and continue to our final take profit, leaving, certain fair value gaps open. And if we don't leave certain fair value gaps, understanding, right, where price may break back down to, such as an OTE, right, this fair value gap, or, right, this order block down here, right, and understanding the low is protected. You're going to see every trade almost look really similar to this, right? We see our run into what seems to be, oh my God, a high resistance high. We're going to put this high in and move lower, right? But what we understand is that we move lower to a PD array, right, at a certain time, right, then to move higher, right, with displacement also at a certain time, right? You see we didn't move higher on Thursday or the overnight session. We waited for the liquidity to be put in, for the news event to be put in, right? And then we have distribution and displacement, and as well as our second leg. That's what these boxes are. It's our smart money reversal here. Smart money reversal at the high, we displace. First leg reaccumulation, second leg, smart money reversal, first leg accumulation, second leg reaccumulation, with our kiss of death right here below the low into our fair value gap order block. Alrighty, coming into November's NFP, we see an 8:30 news event that wasn't the most high volatility. Doesn't mean the day is going to be terrible. We just need to understand what's going to happen, when, where, and why. So we see 8:30, soup this low, accumulate, manipulate, and distribute. I think this was one where I ended up taking a long somewhere in here, right, into the high. And not, inside of here, but after we manipulated our CR wick and then our reaction back higher, and just longing pretty much something like this to our first target, and just because it's so high probability, right, equal highs here, into your 4-hour fair value gap, and then we're break even, and then we continue on to see what happens. We see that we low time frame, right, put in that SMT here, we reaccumulate, break lower, second reaccumulation into an SMT that comes below this 8:30 low, right? Just because we've broken lower with a little bit of displacement doesn't scare me, because we have our high time frame in mind. We have our low that's been swept out. We look to the hour, in dog, internal, external, breaking above, creating equal highs, right? And then moving below, accumulating, manipulating, distributing. Also, right, if we take a look at the ES chart, we see an SMT at this Asian low, right, which is very, very important, right, having that previous day low SMT, right, and if we look on the 4-hour as well, right, an SMT below these lows, higher time frame and lower time frame. That's the key there. Zoom in, make sure you can see that open low into our indog, also right with that previous day low, putting in another protected low. So we see that 9:30 comes in, we're below midnight open, we have a little bit of low resistance. Let's put the makeup back on the chart, and the only thing, right, that really brings us into that low is the SMT the unmitigated 4-hour fair value gap that pushes us a bit lower, and no obvious displacement after 8:30 to support price higher. So we draw to the data low and see if we need to break past this protected low, right? We have our SMT, turtle soup sequence has started here. Breaker, order block, FEG, break the high, displacement into, right, a 330, right, London-based manipulation that doesn't need to take out the Asian session. Order block, breaks the high here. This area of price, internal to external, is balanced. So this low does not need to be run. And that's why we take a long below this NFP low with the SMT. So come into price, we see the 5-minute flips, uses this order block to support price higher, and then price runs to our data high. One more time, or not one more time, but price then runs into this 4-hour fair value gap one more time that we're no longer looking at, right? We have our eye on our previous high, which we then run into, and as well hit our previous day equilibrium take profit, right? And why did I not aim for such a high target as this, right? In my opinion, with this, slow of displacement, I was really seeing the day, kind of move a lot slower. You can see the difference between our December NFP and our November NFP, the difference between why I held and why I didn't hold. As you can see, I've already got marked out every single NFP day, but this video is already over 10 minutes and the retention rate is just not there. So we're going to cut it short and I'm going to make this into a second part so I can cover every news event, and then we might make it into a series covering each CPI event that I traded. If you guys like the video, be sure to like it, comment as well, and leave questions. Like I said, for these news events, there's lots of questions to be had, and I understand a lot of people don't understand the events that well, and are also scared to enter because of how volatile it is. Um, like I said, leave the comments and I'll answer them in the next video. You guys have a great one. Peace.